Hello ladies and gents, this is another video brought to you by Anty. And today's video is going to be about my Carebara diversa, 300,000 plus in just 20 months. Now I honestly didn't think they were this big, but when I did my live stream the other weekend, you know, I'm a big comeback one, everyone was like, nah, these have got to be like 400,000 plus. And then after a bit debating, when I showed them around, people was like, nah, more like 300,000 plus. Either way, it's freaking huge. Now, I can't believe I've left it so long to do a video on these girls, because my last video was actually December of last year, so we're talking about 8 months ago. I'll put a link in the top right corner now for that. And if you look at the setup compared to how it was and to how it is now, just check it out. I mean, this video playing here is roughly what the setup was. There was some extra outwards attached, but yeah, it was just these 3 nests and the outwards you see here. Like I said, at the end of the last video, I did connect a load of new outwards, but I've actually disconnected one of them and rejigged the setup, so it now looks like this. As you can see, they've got 3 outwards attached to them. Now, the outward has got a tape on. I have not been able to get in that for a very, very long time. They have always chilled out in there since connecting it, and now all the barriers gone. They're all over the lid and stuff like that. And there's no way in a million years that I'm going to get into it, so I just don't bother. So when I transported them, I put the tape over the top of it, and because I'm never going to go in there, I've just not taken it off. Now, believe it or not, they've never actually put trash in that outworld as well. They generally use the other outworlds for the trash. I think they kind of see that as an extra chamber in the nest, because they have put brood in there previously in the previous setup configuration, but they haven't bothered with this one. But that might have also been because I only had these 3 nests attached at the time, and as you can see, I have now attached 2 Wakooshi MS 5.5s extra, so I've got 4 MS 5.5s, which are not small nests in themselves, and they've still got their original MS 3.5 attached. And it's also worth noting that I don't expect these girls to get much bigger. Well, I'm lying, I reckon they could get a lot bigger. But either way, if you notice at the back, I have attached a tubing ready to extend it if I need to put extra nests, extra outwards and stuff like that. And with a species like this, which you can't predict the size and they just keep growing, I'd always recommend when you do a setup, think for the future. But anyway, let's go into the nest so you guys can see what's going on. Well, first off, have a quick look at the MS 3.5, the original nest. Yes, I know it's dirty, but I will be cleaning it soon. As you can see, there's plenty of brood in there. If we check this 5.5 out, yet again, loads of brood, loads of eggs, loads of workers. And this one, I'll talk about that in a second because they've attacked all Egyptian. Now, these are the extra nests. Now, the bags of space for them to go into these. I know that they've obviously got a bit of brood in here. I know that people are going to be like, oh my god, they're going to fill it full of rubbish. Not concerned, because they might fill it full of rubbish, but they'll move it out as soon as they want the space. I've seen them do it before, and I really can't get this off. I really can't. Look, it's stuck on. It's my fat fingers. I'm just getting so fat these days. Anyway, so I'm not concerned about moving rubbish in there, because when they want to expand into it, they'll just move the rubbish out. And frankly, it's not something I'm overly concerned about with this Conley. But they have got plenty of workers in there, and I can finally pry this open, as you'll see here. But there's no brood or anything like that. That's in the other 4 nests. But don't worry, guys, the macro shot is coming up now. Now, when you look at this, you'll be like, this lighting is terrible. Yeah, it is bad, but the reason it is because they're so rammed in there. This is the MS 3.5, by the way. They're absolutely chockering it. And this is what people started talking about on my live stream, is that when you actually look at it from those over-the-shop pictures, you wouldn't say there's that many in this Conley, but once you actually get the macro lens in and you see how rammed they are in there, and they are rammed. And you'll see a bit later a nest that is emptied out because I took the covers off and I'm looking into it, and they're just scattered, and you can see exactly what's going on in there. But it's so full of workers. They seem to like this because, like I said, they've got the room to expand, but they're not doing it. They're quite happy keeping nice and compact. But as you can see here, as I move down, there's a super major. I wonder if I can see it. No, missed it, but that was a super major. You'll see a lot more of them later, don't you worry. So this is the first of the MS 5.5s, and as you can see, this is the main route down. There is plenty of workers, and look at that major clamping on the back of that super major. It's like, yeah, give me a hitch, mate. I can't be asked to walk. I love these girls so much. But yet again, as we move into the nest area here, yet again, it is absolutely rammed. And I'm also struggling to focus actually in the nest itself, because I think you'll see it when I zoom out in a little bit. There are so many workers on the surface of the acrylic. It gives this dark appearance when you're trying to film it. Makes it very difficult to get any decent footage, but as you can see, they're absolutely loads upon loads upon loads. I would easily say there's got to be about 70,000 in each one of these MS 5.5 nests, because the workers, they are small, the main workers are, but there's just so many of them. What's also really healthy to see as well, I've got plenty of super majors. Now, the super majors, I've never ever seen them come out of the nest unless they're moving nests. So they always stay there. They're there mainly to protect the nest, but they're also, which is probably the most important job, they are literally the larders of the Anty colony, I guess. And what I mean by that is that they store all the food. Now, if you see these miners, yes, there's loads of them, but they don't have a lot of storage capacity in their social stomachs. So they feed all of the stuff they collect, they feed to the super majors. And if you'll see one in a bit, you'll see that abdomens are absolutely rammed full of food and expanded proper outwards. I think my cover photo showing that anyway. But yeah, as I was saying, absolutely rammed full of them. So that's very healthy to see. And believe it or not, this is the first time I've seen the queen in about 6 months, so it was really good to see her cutting around as well. Like I said, I knew she wasn't dead. There's plenty of fresh eggs and stuff about, but it was good to actually see her being escorted by the other workers. And just look how much eggs there is about in here, as well as larvae. This is what I mean. It's just so busy in here. And when you think that this colony is just made up of one queen, the amount of brood that there is there, and they don't take long to develop. You can see they've been excavating the gypsum there. I'll talk about that in a bit more. They don't take long to develop, to be honest. The super majors obviously take a lot longer than the minor workers, but minor workers are looking about 28 days from egg to adult. So to replenish these numbers, and they don't live very long either, to be fair. So to replenish these numbers, that queen has got to be constantly pumping out eggs. And as you can clearly see, she has been. And talking about developing super majors, that is one that's just about to emerge as an adult. I don't think she's moving, so I think she's still in the pupae stage, as it were, but she is going to be another big girl. Now, I do get some decent footage of, there's the queen again, but you can't see her because she's so packed full of workers. And this is what I'm talking about, some super major action. Now, believe it or not, all three of these are super majors, and you see the one in the middle, all you can see is his abdomen. Look at the size difference between that and her sisters. It is about half the size. Now, she is actually a super major, and she was one of the first super major sizes that I got. But now seeing how big that this big Bertha is, you'll see why I love this species so much. Just look at her, that's a super major easily. When you look at this one, they're just so much bigger. So polymorphic. I love polymorphic ants anyway, but these take it to the extreme, and they're absolutely gorgeous. The super majors are just majestic. I've got a lot of love for them. But what's interesting here, yeah, she's in no rush, but she's actually making her way towards the queen, which is kind of cool. And you'll see the queen just there in the bottom right corner, that dark fuzz that all you can see is ants around it. Just, see what I mean? You can't even focus in on her anymore because there's just so many ants about her. But that's kind of cool. She's just checking on the queen because I obviously took the red acrylic off. But oh, just so gorgeous. This colony is just amazing, but I do wish they would stop trashing my nests. Now, if you look at this is the Wakooshi MS 5.5, and you can see that they have absolutely attacked, annihilated, destroyed the gypsum. Now, if you remember when I actually attached this in my last video of these, I had a big crack on it, and they've proper exploited it. And then they'd seen the crack, they started digging it out. As you can see, most of the gypsum on this side here where the crack was is pretty much gone on the top end anyway. But they've also realised they can dig into it elsewhere, and they've just been annihilating this nest, and you can see most of it's gone. I mean, it's not like end of the world stuff. I can easily get the replacement gypsum parts for these because Wakooshi sells them, but I'm not really that interested, to be fair. It can't bother them that much because they've still got loads of brood in there, as you can see from that little video anyway, so I'm just inclined to leave it. If they move into the other nests that I've put in there and then they decide to leave this one, then so be it. I might disconnect it, then do it up again to make it a functional nest again. But at the moment, I'm quite happy just to leave it as is. Now, if you've actually noticed, you see all this yellow crud that's all around the outside of the outworld. Not outworld, the nest. Do you know what? I've got absolutely no idea how it's been there. I've been using these nests for, 2 to 3 years now. This is the first time I've come across it. The only thing I can think of is the fact that when I was obviously split with my missus and I was between houses and stuff like that, all I was doing was filling it up and not paying attention. And I may have overhydrated it, which allowed the calcium carbonate in the water to leak out of the nest. That is the only thing I can think of. Now, it wipes off and it cleans the nest quite well, as you can see here. I think it's worth mentioning. As we all know, these were horrendously dirty and I'd cleaned them out and all that malarkey. So you need to watch my live stream. I'll put a link in the top right corner now for that. I basically state there everything that's been going on with me being between houses, the lack of care for my ants and how disgusted I was with myself. It's all in the live stream, check it out. I also describe how I yo-yo these so I can clean them out, because when I got them here they were absolutely disgusting. And what I mean by yo-yoing is that if you remember back to the picture of the outworlds, the two on the left, I put food in there so it reduced numbers on the outworld on the right, you can see here, because it was absolutely disgusting. So it moved most of the workers out, which allowed me to get in there and clean them. Now when I clean these, I have to hoover it up with this little hoover you can see me going around with now. I know you can only see the tubing, but it's just a keyboard hoover. And then I have to filter through all the rubbish, so it took me hours to clean that out properly. But most of it's done. That rubbish has been laid there since I cleaned it out, but that's how I basically do it. I explain it a lot better in the live stream, just watch that, because I'm just talking rubbish right now. I do have to show you this because this is what I love. I love watching them in the tubing and in the outworlds as well, just making the little trails going about the business. There is one escapee just there, oopsie. Yeah, I love watching them do this. I love them in the tubing as they go to and from the business. The majors just cutting around as well. I think it's all interesting. I have put a short recently on about this, but I think it's really cool. I do love these ants, they're brilliant. I must admit though, it is great to be making videos again. I have missed doing long form videos. I've done a couple of shorts, but realistically speaking, I've not really been with it. I am getting back into it now, as you can see with this video, and there will be some more videos to follow as well. So Anthood is definitely back on the YouTubing scene. I will mostly be doing long forms, and I'll probably chuck in a load of shorts if there's something interesting or a topic I want to quickly talk about. Because let's be honest, the shorts drag all the bloody views in and all the subscribers. And yeah, they're probably not the people that I normally cater to, because I'm generally catered towards serious ant keepers and not people that just want to see ants kill themselves and kill other things. So yeah, generally speaking, I am going to tender to the main people that I've always been focused on, which is fellow ant keepers, or equally people that are interested in ants. But I am very much back on the scene, guys, so look forward to my future videos. I want to say a big thank you also to the anting community as well, because a lot of them have supported me through my absence with all my stuff going on in my life, with my divorce and things like that, and changing houses, you know. So a big thank you to them. A big thank you to the Patreon supporters and the YouTube membership, because those guys have still stuck by me, knowing that I'm still in the background but just not producing videos. But they've still stuck around, they've still supported me, so a big thank you to those guys too. If you guys want to become a Patreon supporter, by all means check the link out below, and if you want to become a member, I think you just hit join and below this video. But yeah, either way guys, I'll leave you with this video with these guys as I say goodbye. Thank you for sticking around, and thank you for continuing to support my channel. But that's it for today, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye bye for now. You still there, peeps? Are you? Little bonus for you. Mate, I love this video. You know, I could watch this for days. It's that little trail that goes up the middle. I just love how you've got all the other workers about, just watching and stuff like that. And you've got a couple of majors watching the route, but you can just see them shooting up and down. Absolutely love that. I just think it's so cool. I mean, there's not really... I think they've got the jelly pots in the far outworld, and they have filled it full of trash, but it keeps the jelly fresh and stops it going all dry and horrible. So I think that's why they're doing that, because they're still eating that honey, not the honey, the jelly pot. And that's probably what these workers that are going to and from are going to, because I think there is some old cockroaches in there, but I think they've pretty much eaten them anyway. But yeah, I love it. And you can also see a bit of that gypsum they've taken out of the nest. You see on the left-hand side, just by the joint of the outworld, there's a ball of gypsum there, and they've got a major sat on it, like surveying the savannah around him. You know, and it's pretty much perfectly round. And the thing is, they've probably rolled that all the way through the tubing to get it to here. So they're really industrious little things, I tell you. But anyway, I am going for genuine now. I'm definitely going, promise. So I'll leave this up until the video ends, and then obviously you guys can leave it in the video. But as always, guys, love you all. Thank you for supporting me. Toodles!